You guys ready?
Ready.
Let's go. Okay, cool. So thanks for coming. Some of you heard from our newsletter or Balance Float, but I'm Joey Salgado.
I'm Josh Morielli.
So we're both doctors of physiotherapy over here in Menlo Park, so like no more than 7 minutes that way. So we come here fairly often.
Yeah, we take advantage of the services for sure.
Yeah, we do a lot of recovery work here. Who here has been to Balance Float and actually used the service? Oh
man, it's
you
gonna be good.
better talk to these guys after. Yeah, but we love
infrared sauna, cold plunge, float. It's good stuff.
Yeah, in this crazy world, how fast paced everything is moving. They both, Norman and Andrew, have given us a home to kind of recover and slow us down. And forever grateful for everything they provided for both Josh and I, and then also Taylor. So thank you for opening the space to us. So let's get it going. All right. So who here knows anyone that has pain or any limited mobility that limits anyone from doing what they love? Pretty common, yeah? So the good news is there are a lot of ways to start in that journey, and that's why hopefully you guys are here today. The advice that some people have received, having gone past sometimes the ice pack, the hot pack, or maybe some anti-inflammatory medications to help deal with the pain. But what we want to do is give you guys at least a starting point to get you guys to start to listen to your body a little bit, and doing some joint specific stuff to kind of explore different ranges in your body. So we'll take it from there. And so the outcome today, what we want to do is give you guys tools that you can take away and start to use tomorrow. Like literally first thing when you guys wake up, prime your body up a little bit, get it lubricated, and then go off and do what you guys need to do to give yourself to the world. And then secondly, self-awareness. And I was speaking over here, and we were talking about the one outcome that you guys can get from today is just listening. And if you can feel your joints a little bit better than you did a minute before you came here, then you guys won, right? Because I think a lot of times people know they're tight or they have some kind of discomfort or pain, but can't really articulate where and what movement. So at the very least, if you guys can get that today, I think that'll be a good win. And you'll figure out your movement capacity. So if you guys have stiffness in any joints, you'll know after today. You'll know for sure. So if we can provide that, we're excited to deliver on it. And then, like I said already, actively just listen. Welcome in. Actively listening to your body. So you guys are going to start with a conversation with your body today.
So before we get started, we have to define a couple terms. So flexibility is the ability to passively take your joints to a range of motion. So for example, if I was to grab my foot and pull it to my buttocks, that's a passive range. If I let go, that's going to be my active component. So basically, the mobility is going to be the ability to bend that joint through a range of motion. So ultimately, we want these two to be as close as possible. So for example, again, if I was pulling here and I was only able to hold it down here, my injury risk is going to be higher than somebody who's able to hold it way up there. So the goal is to create as much similarity between these two ranges as possible. So the ability to passively move it versus the ability to actively move it. Now, why is it important to have a morning routine? Well, basically, the most important thing to do is create a behavior. We want to change behaviors, and ultimately, we want you to incorporate this stuff. And the easiest way to do it is to do it right when you wake up. Is there anybody in here who has a morning routine of any type? What kind of stuff are you guys doing?
Just stretching and sit-ups and all sorts of.
Awesome. So you're covering the flexibility component. You're covering some of the strength. We just have to add some mobility stuff. So for you, it's going to be easy to incorporate the CARS routine that we're going to be teaching here.
Can you tell me again what CARS stands for?
It's just the next slide, but controlled articular rotations. So it's just a big word for basically a joint circle.
Joint circle. Yeah.
Now, here's the slide on it. So basically, we want to define some of the benefits of controlled articular rotations. Number one, when you move a joint through its full range of motion, you're actually causing the joint to release the lubrication, which is called synovial joint fluid. The lubrication not only reduces friction in the joint, but it also provides nutrition. So we want to move the joint through the biggest range to get the most lubrication as possible. The second thing it does is it starts to paint a picture, because inside our joints, there's little receptors in there that basically tell the brain what your joint can do. So the more often we can provide that input to the brain, it basically creates a more detailed picture in the cortex. So your brain has a better, I guess, idea of what your joint can actually do. The other thing, like Joey was saying, it's a screening tool. So every morning you wake up, you're taking your joints through these ranges and you're self-assessing. I'm feeling a little tight in my shoulder today. Maybe I should do a little bit more mobility work on my shoulder today. So ultimately, it helps you kind of get a snapshot of what your day is going to be like if you do it in the morning. So making sure that you address these things.
Yep. So it's going to be nice and intimate in here.
Yeah, so we're going to get to the lab portion.
So we're gonna get through the actual active portions, but before we do that, do you guys have any initial questions based on just that small little snippet? You guys ready to get to work? All right, so let's do this. Andrew, what do you want to do about the couch? Can we? Yeah. So we're gonna go through literally head all the way down to the ankle. So let's get everything up to the side so we have a little room to actually go through some movement. Yeah, we're doing it here. So it's gonna be nice and intimate.
So this right here is gonna be the actual routine that you can start implementing tomorrow morning. Number one thing to do when you're about to do your morning routine with the cars is we gotta make sure that you're moving the joint that you wanna move only. So if you're moving the neck, for example, and having your torso get involved, that's something we don't want. So we wanna first create what's called irradiation. So irradiation is basically creating a tummy contraction and spreading the floor just a little bit, because this is the morning routine. You don't have to create a high level contraction like you're training in the gym. This is a low grade contraction. Once you have that tension built up in your tummy and your buttocks and your legs, you're spreading the floor, you're then gonna do what's called a cervical cars first. So you're gonna work on the neck. So the first thing Joey's gonna do is he's gonna bring his chin down to his chest. Once that range is maximized, he's then gonna scrape his chin across his sternum, his chest bone. He's gonna go through a full range of motion. One thing to pay attention to though, if you're getting any pinching pain, respect the pinch. Create a smaller circle if it's pinching. This motion is slow and controlled, so no fast ballistic stuff. It's a very slow motion. It should take 15 to 20 seconds of just slowly going through this whole range. Now, Joey continued on, so we'll keep going here. As you get up into the top portion where you're looking up at the ceiling, that's when you're gonna start to turn your chin towards the opposite shoulder. And once you get to there, you're gonna slowly tuck the chin back down to that opposite shoulder and then scrape it through the chest. And then back to neutral. Now, in the morning, I would do 2 to 3 repetitions, clockwise, counterclockwise. Usually 3 repetitions, if you're doing full body, will take you about 20 minutes. So if time's an issue, you can always do 2 repetitions of these each way.
So let's all go through it just so we can walk around and get an idea on how you guys are performing the car. So let's go ahead and start. Let's go tuck the chin down and nice and slow, scrape that chin to the right shoulder and slowly tilt that ear back as you look up to the ceiling. And again, like Josh said, don't barge through any pinching points. Start to explore and go back to the center. Good. Now, make a bigger circle, same direction. Feel it out. Where do you feel tension? Where do you feel the pinch point?
Yeah, these are all self-assessment things. And you could, okay, I got a pinch point on this side. That could tell us a lot of good information of how we could maybe help you reduce that pinch or give you a strategy that would be in a different.
It takes a lot of learning. So if you guys feel a little frustrated about like getting the right movement, that's very normal.
Yeah. The first few times you're doing it, it's just let your body do what it naturally does, and then you'll start to learn as you do it more and more.
Who here feels any kind of pinching points as you explore the backside? Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. So those are things. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
I was told years ago that they had ascertained at UC, San Francisco, that you were not supposed to do full circles, that you're supposed to do half.
I think the comment on that would be a lot of people are doing this, right? They're doing just whipping it around, and that I would not recommend.
Slow and controlled allows you time to fill it out, and if it does produce any symptoms, back off the circle.
Yeah.
Because what is ultimately happening if you do have issues like that, you're close packing onto the nerve structures if it is pinching or shooting down the arm or anything like that. So smaller circle. But ultimately what we found is the more people do this, their circle starts to get bigger and bigger. So that means your capacity of your neck and what it can do improves over time.
And that's why the pinch point is so crucial to listen to. Because we've had a lot of people
Don't
come
blast
in
through it.
and they say, oh, I feel tight in the backside, but I just push through it. That's the stretch you don't want to barge through, okay? So we're gonna now go into the scapula. So we're gonna go into the shoulder blades, okay? So we'll start one at a, yeah.
Yes, 2 questions.
Yeah.
In terms of, you said brace the belly, can you expand on what you're actually trying to do?
So what we're trying to do by creating a radiation, expanding the belly, is create a central point of stabilization. The way to do that is to, I hate saying the word bear down a little bit, but creating some contraction within the tummy, pushing out a little bit.
So pushing out.
Yeah. Because we use intra-abdominal pressure, which is the pushing out stuff. Some people will tell you suck in.
Okay.
We just do a different
Yeah.
way of
It
stabilizing.
is actually a true abdominal pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then on the head, do you want to try to avoid scapular elevation?
Yeah. Isolated.
So when it
Disassociate.
happens, you stop and let it drop, or you just think about it?
Take mental note of it, and then when you go through it again, try and isolate. Don't let that happen. Or do a smaller circle. Because sometimes our egos want us to do the biggest circle, but hey, if we have to do a smaller one, let's do a smaller one. Because then we're just perpetuating a bad pattern.
Yeah, good question, because that happens a lot. You'll notice that when you guys are doing all these different body parts that we explore, you're gonna see a lot of body parts come with the motion that you're trying to create. And that's a form of compensation, which we throw that term out very loosely, but that's exactly it. If we're trying to get isolated motion, and if something else comes with it, just take note, yeah? Okay, so next we're gonna do scapula, okay? So if you guys can picture, let's all choose the left scapula. Go ahead and put your left hand right against your thigh, all right? Now pretend that you had a laser pointer coming right out of your deltoid or the side of your shoulder, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna literally draw the biggest circle you can while maintaining a straight elbow all the way around. Okay, so start playing around and draw a circle using just the shoulder blade, and what you all may notice, you might do a little bit of body rolling,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of elbow bending, but start to explore and see if you can start to draw a big circle. We'll walk around, and as you guys are exploring it, we want to see and take note where you're having difficulty accessing range.
You can even close your eyes and fill it out and get more feedback from the joint.
Good.
How are you?
Good. How you doing? Good to see you. Good. So try to capture. Who here is finding themselves bend the
Trick we like
elbow?
to do. You can
I know I
feel
did
if
that.
your rib cage is getting involved. So kind of like what you're
Yeah,
doing.
so-
Using it as a
yeah,
gauge
so-
to like.
So keep that elbow straight, keep it
Perfect.
flat, and shrug it
Same
up.
thing. It's just feedback for you.
So you
Peel it back,
Yeah, because then it
Drop it
allows you
down.
to see when you go back.
roll it forward,
If the rib flares occur.
and then bring it back.
Which you had the right idea for the side to side, but then you add one more
So you see,
component
think about
of control.
some of the
or
stuff that we've
paying
done
attention.
traditionally with physio. We all just talk about pinching your shoulder blades down and back.
Crunchies.
What
Crunchy?
happens when we
Oh,
reach
man.
out? It's not down and back, right? So what we're doing is we're just teaching the shoulder blades to access more range. Yeah?
Any questions?
Good, thank you.
So if you guys did the left, let's do the other side and explore.
Do you go both ways?
Yeah, do both ways. Yeah, both ways. Sorry, thank you. Good. Yeah, both directions and explore.
Yeah, the 2 to 3 repetitions.
How you doing, brother? Good? Yeah. Good. Nice. And then let's roll it forward. Capture as much as you can in that circle.
It's surprisingly difficult, like to actually isolate. And you start to see, like, oh man, a lot of stuff's moving.
You guys good here? Yeah? Shrug it up, shrug it up, shrug it up, peel it back.
We always like to set people up in neutral.
Nice.
So what
Yeah,
tends to
you'll
happen
notice
with the
these
shoulder
other
circle, we
pin-
go into
Yeah.
extension. They try and use the upper trap and extend the neck. So we always want to think of like a hair on the top, the crown of your head being pulled up to the ceiling. That creates that elongation. And once you have that elongation,
Did anyone notice the difference between left and right side? Yeah?
Well, it's your right hand or left hand.
True.
More coordinated.
Yeah. So it just, again, information, right? People start to realize, oh my gosh, I haven't even tried this left side before. And they realize, oh yeah, that's where my shoulder hurts.
yeah, the shoulder blade is a huge component for shoulder health.
Yeah.
So when I was at my old clinic,
my PT had noticed that like my right shoulder was misaligned, shoulder blade was misaligned with my You had left. the elevated.
Uh,
He called it like sick scapula. Yeah, dyskinesia.
Yeah.
Name for it. Or like, so I think still to this day it's like misaligned a little bit. Do you think this can almost help? Well, it starts to carve out the range in addition to painting the picture in the brain, so the motor control. It's a good way to do it at a very low, I guess, risk. Like you just, and it's brick by brick, man. And the more consistent you are, you'll see the change.
All right, let's shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder time.
So when I do my left shoulder, I can actually feel my first and second vertebra kind of moving, but on the right shoulder, no.
Yeah, so your body's stealing range of motion from your mid back. So that's good to take the mental note, and then you can start practicing isolating maybe smaller circles, and then start building up to the bigger ones. But it's all good information that now you're aware, and now you can start addressing it. And that's more than half the battle, is just becoming aware.
Shoulder.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the shoulder. So let's do, since you already have your left ready. So we're gonna do the left shoulder. So what Joey's gonna do here is he's gonna raise his arm up over his head. Same principles though. If there's a pinching point at any part of this range, create a smaller circle if you have to. Now the next thing you're gonna imagine is you have an X on your bicep. Now that X, I want you to turn it away from you. That's going to be the rotational component of the shoulder, and it's the hardest part of this exercise, this movement. Now continue to wind it up until your palm is facing out at when your arm gets to your thigh, and have it fully wound up.
Do that again.
And then once you hold it there, let everybody catch up. We're going to reverse. So go ahead and reverse it. Try and maintain this wind up as long as you can without compensation. So if he starts to dip, then allow it to unwind. So as he comes back, he's gonna slowly twist it so that the palm ends up facing towards his ear direction, and then back down. This one is awesome. This is one of my
I'll
favorites.
show you on this side, okay, guys?
So it's coming up, remember the X.
What about the breathing? Because
So with Carr's routine, you want to do just slow and controlled breathing. There's no real, it's not like weightlifting.
you don't want to expand your chest, you want to.
I would say diaphragmatic. I always like going
Yeah.
diaphragmatic. So breathing in through the nose kind of.
That's one thing I kept doing wrong and I couldn't do that.
Yeah. So inhale through the nose, and if you're having a hard time diaphragmatic breathing, the trick is put your tongue on the roof of your mouth behind your top teeth. That kind of helps elicit a diaphragmatic breath. It's a little trick, neurologic trick. On the back of your teeth, on the top teeth, with your mouth relaxed, closed. Mm-hmm. And then that inhalation through the nose helps the diaphragm to.
Mouth's a little bit open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're not grinding.
No, no clenching. Yeah, that was a good one. And just keep winding it up though. So you did good there. So keep going. Good. Twisting. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Come around.
And then you're fully wound
I'm
up.
doing something wrong.
You're doing it right until you get to there.
And then
Like
what?
you're fully wound up.
Oh, you want your top of your hand. Yeah.
Facing out. Your palm facing out.
I was doing the opposite.
Yeah, because that's going to wind up what's called the capsule. It gives a lot of feedback to the brain.
Okay. So you wind up with
And then reverse
top of
it.
your hand by your thumb.
Yep. And then you're moving it back as far as you can, then unwinding. Good,
And
good.
then, yep, turn right there. Are you good, Valley? How are you doing? Can I raise it up?
No pinch points. Oh,
And then
that's
wind up
awesome,
that
man.
shoulder
That's
as
gonna
you
be
reach back.
that's gonna be a good one for you.
Winding
You can
it
even
up.
sit here and just practice
Winding it
these.
There it is.
This is actually what Brian was working on last night.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, the rotational stuff.
See how you start?
It's good.
Now reach back into extension, and then return.
And just shoulder blade for you.
There you go.
How many
You
months
good?
are
How you
we
doing?
missing?
That's it. That's it. That's it. Wind it up.
Yeah, you're good.
Reach back. Yeah, so if I'll go through my rhythm. So this is what it looks like in my morning routine. I'm literally here. Wind it up. Yeah. And this is literally the rhythm. The morning routine is very low intensity. When you're training it, different story. I'm dripping in sweat if I'm training, and I'm using more tension to the range. Yes, because you don't want to ramp your body up so high in the morning. You just want to prime.
Because it's just been sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we good? Okay, we're gonna go right to the elbow. All right, so what you're gonna do here is put your hands by your side. You can go ahead and try to pin your elbows against your cage. And what you're gonna do here is you're gonna basically do a bicep curl with your palms open, squeeze, 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 and then from here, you're gonna turn your palms away to get pronation in your elbow, and then fully extend that elbow. Good, once you get full extension, only at the elbow, turn open. And what some of you might find is that your biceps are gonna wanna flare open and try to get external rotation of your shoulder, but make sure that it's just coming from the elbow. And then repeat the cycle and bend, get as much out of that as you can, and then rotate. Good.
It feels stuck. Good job.
Yeah. And then now, with your palms facing down, reverse direction. Bend it up. Yeah. And then from here, prime it open. Yep.
Nice.
And open. This one's a little easier than the shoulder, huh? Yeah. Okay. And then again, one more time. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. And then prime it open. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we do see a lot of people in the clinic that actually lack a lot of this motion, and it looks so simple, but you'll be surprised at what we actually see.
Like tennis elbow is a common one that if this stuff's a little bit wonky, you'll see that with them too. So.
Yeah. Did you guys have any closing ankle pain or any discomfort through it? You guys were pretty good.
You want to keep you don't want to go out, right?
Yeah, keep it in. Because then if you're going out, you're stealing from here, from the shoulder. So if you keep your elbows pinned, max out that range, and then twist. And then down. That was good. And then right there, now reverse it, come up.
I'm getting full flexion, and I'm getting
And then twist.
just at the elbow.
Good.
You'll see the people doing
Yeah.
pronation at the elbow, full extension. And then if you watch here, if I go from here, full extension, pronation, if I go into this motion, notice how the bicep doesn't rotate at all. I'm just getting it from the elbow. And then you go into here. Yeah? Squared away on the elbow? Not as bad? Yeah. Getting the shoulder in.
Oh, yeah. You had to replace
Want
it.
the wrist?
Wrist, this one gets fun. This one gets fun.
I remember.
Okay, so we're gonna lock our elbows at our sides again. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna imagine that the laser pointer is now on the tip of our middle finger. Yup, this is some Jedi stuff now. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna try and create the biggest circle you can with that laser pointer. So you're gonna bring it down. Once it's fully down, you're gonna then deviate it out. Deviate it out. And then once you maximize the deviation out, then you're bringing it back up. And this is all with the palms facing up.
Yeah, so
palms up.
pretend that you guys had a drink resting on your forearm.
That's a good one too.
Don't spill it.
Don't spill the drink. So palms are up. Good. Then
good?
we're gonna go fully down, which is extension. And once we're fully down, we're then gonna deviate our hands out. And then back up, creating the biggest circle we can with that laser. And then,
So your wrists are supposed to be up like
yeah.
this?
So we don't steal, because
So I'm
So I'll show
twisting
you.
it.
you're stealing it from the
Yes,
elbow.
Tune in here. So nice and slow. Pretend that I had a drink on my
You
forearms.
start this way?
Yep.
Okay.
And then bend it back.
Drop the
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now slowly go towards your pinky. Look at your forearms. Make sure it doesn't rotate. And then peel it up. Keeping those fingers straight. Keep those fingers straight. So you see how we're noticing doing this, right? Here. And then people get surprised about this motion. Nice. That was better. So you notice how your elbow's trying to help. Only get it at the
If you have
wrist.
to, we could do this too. You can hold
Here.
to give yourself more feedback.
Bring it
And
up.
then practice.
Nice. There you go. That was better.
And
Good.
some
then
of it might
let's peel it all the
not
way
even
up.
be related to
There you go.
tightness. It might
And
be
then
just
towards
the
your
cortex,
thumbs.
like your brain being
And come
able
back
to
around. So
coordinate
again,
that.
it's just
And that's where
yeah.
this
This is gnarly. This is
receptors
tough
in here
stuff.
will
People
start
don't
teaching your
spend the
brain that,
time
hey,
to
I have
actually
this range.
Think about hoopers. We need that. If not, good luck.
You
Right?
have to keep your wrists like that.
Yeah, so it becomes, so go up
So this
first.
one's pretty gnarly, guys. So
You see how
let's try to
the
keep
fingers,
straight.
don't let the
So
fingers,
here,
so they stay
get as
straight.
much an extension as you
It gets
can.
hard if you don't let the fingers
Keeping
get
those
involved.
fingers
You have
straight.
to keep your wrists straight.
And then from here, let's go to deviate to the pinky.
Turn it a little bit, and you gotta
And then curl into
It's
full
super
flexion.
hard if the fingers don't get involved.
Making sure that we don't get
It's
this.
so weird not to let the fingers bend, but we want the wrist only, so
I'm
go
sweating from wrist cards. This is
No.
crazy.
We lost the drink.
It's moist, right? And then bring it back. So again, like working
so
with
do a
people that
small
do a lot
circle.
of like handstand push-ups and
Like that's like
activities
my
that
circle.
require this.
In instead of
You can both directions. So remember with all the cars, yeah, crazy, right?
So out is really challenging. Not
This one's tough.
I have no
These ones are tough.
So bend it
It's the
back.
smallest joint, but it's the most difficult.
Okay, now bring it
That's
towards
it.
your thumbs.
Yeah,
With your
if you don't let the fingers get involved,
Only go as far as you can
that's
control.
yeah. You see that a lot.
So you're gonna only go to here. Yeah. There's not anatomically. There's not a lot of room here. Period. So there's only, if you bend all the way back, go out to the side, and
Feeling
then
good with this
curl
one?
back up. You're already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. But again, then peel it back all the way up.
It's a hard one.
No,
It's definitely
it's
a
not.
hard one.
Circles like this big.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. Don't try to muscle through it.
Yeah, if you
Feel
don't
it
let the
out.
fingers
See
get
where you
involved,
are. Yeah.
it's like man, it lights things up. For sure. Yeah, but I know I used to do the
Can
same
we
thing.
move on to hip while they're all standing?
Yeah, let's do hip next.
Yeah. I'll talk it through. I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on to the hip now. So go ahead. We're gonna have to keep your balance on somebody though. So partner up
Partner up for the hip.
because it is a little bit tough to keep your balance. So what Joey's gonna do here, he's gonna move. Let's go. You want to move the left side?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna do the left hip or whatever side that's away from the person when they're on the. Okay, so you're gonna take your left hip, bring it up as high as you can without letting your spine get involved. So without flexing your spine. Once you maximize that range, you're gonna slowly open up into what I like to call the Captain Morgan pose. Like you're putting your leg up on a barrel. Now, once you're at that range, right there, start to twist your foot up to the ceiling. So that that one's tough. And then as you maximize the foot up to the ceiling, then slowly start to bring the foot back down to your side.
We'll do that one again.
So let's do it again. Go ahead and bring the knee forward so you're flexing your hip only as far as your spine doesn't flex. Once you maximize that, let your knee flare out to the side, kind of like the Captain Morgan pose.
like a ballet.
I know. And then once that's maximized, start to twist the foot up to the ceiling so that your sole of your foot's facing the wall away from you on the back side of you. And then as that's maximized, start to bring the leg back down, completing an entire circle. It's intense. A lot of you,
This
like
is
all of
intense.
us, we feel it right in the side right here.
Are you supposed to be able to do that without holding on?
No, you gotta hold on to something.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to make
Yeah, no, good question. The purpose of this is mobility, not so much adding the dynamic balance. Yeah.
It's working all those muscles against gravity.
So we're gonna walk around the. So this will be the first phase. We're gonna go through the first phase here, guys. So I'm gonna do it right here. So nice and slow. Bring it up. No, stay on it. We're gonna work on the first phase because there's still a return phase.
Oh, so you still need to be first.
Who went first?
He went.
Go ahead.
Let's do this now.
Yeah, your turn. Yeah. So nice and slow. Bring it up. Bring it out to the side. Bring this back. Yes, that's the face. Accurate. That's it.
So the minute you open your fingers,
So when you come up like this, do you want the leg out like that?
Yeah,
How
so
far do you want the leg?
as far as you can do without your spine getting involved.
Yeah.
So if you're bringing it up and you're like this, then we'd rather you be down here and open up. And then once you open up, it's gonna give you a lot of tension into
really
here.
tight hips. So this opens up the tip. The hips. Yeah.
It opens them up over time as you do it more and more, but there's other tools. Like this is one component of the system,
Yeah.
and we're just exposing you to this, but then that allows you now to say, hey, I have tightness with this motion.
I know I got tight.
So then there's a whole host of other strategies that the system has, which it's just beautiful how they laid it out, like how the system's set up.
And just back like this.
Uh-huh, so you ultimately creating that type of motion, but in that opened up space. It's tough, it's super tough. Good, and then when it's up there,
Yeah, I need help. Hold on. You know what? I don't like these shoes. I wish I'd known we were doing this. I would have worn better.
yeah, there we go, barefoot's best.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so you come up.
Uh-huh, out, right there. Now twist your foot up to the ceiling, so a twist. and then back down.
But I'm trying to make the bottom of my foot perpendicular to the floor.
That would be a perfect car.
Yeah, okay. And
Nuts.
against the back of it, like against the wall, and then coming down straight.
And then slowly coming.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect. And that's not too many people can do it perfectly like that. Like ballet, like dancers can.
I used to be able to do stuff.
Like she probably got a good one. He gets it up pretty.
It might deform in my spine.
A little bit of stealing, but it's okay. It's all right. This is a morning routine. Now, if we're trying to train, then we would create so much tension.
Feet are tingling. It's like,
That feels really good. That feels good on
We good?
Do you have all this on?
Yeah, that's coming.
Yeah, because
we're gonna send you all. Yeah, we're gonna send it. Okay.
If it's a bottom range.
did you say eventually my hamstrings
Yeah.
get looser? This is
Yeah, you'll be able. Not. She didn't like it.
Is this okay, by the way?
Yeah, nice and slow, and then rotate. That's where I want the magic to happen. It's the rotation. Okay. But that's a full question. Hard to answer with just one exercise. But that response will get better as you train it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do. So
Joey, I hope you have a handout with these.
we're gonna get your guys' emails later and send videos. Okay. Don't worry, I don't expect any of you guys to remember anything other than, man, that was tough. That's it. Forget my name, I don't care. Just as long as you took away the. Okay, second phase of hip cars.
Second phase of hip bar.
Yeah, we didn't return.
Oh, the return. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. We good? Oh, thank you. Good. Okay. All right. So second phase of the hip car. So we just went through this, yeah? Now you guys have to find a way to return. All right. So the return, knee bend, you might get a cramp. That's okay. You know, we can fight through that.
Imagine like you're trying to hold a tennis ball in between the crease of your knee.
And
Keep
then
it bent.
from here, you're gonna reach back into extension, making sure that you don't do this.
Yeah, don't steal from the back.
You might do too much of that, right? So we want to make sure we reach back, knee and ankle out to the side, and then you're gonna wind this guy up
Twist, twist, twist.
as you come back around.
So reverse.
Cramp City, guys. All right, run through it again. Seriously. Okay, bend that knee, reach back, knee and ankle out to the side, and then bring that foot around as the knee comes up, and come back around.
Flip around and do it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Other side. That was, okay, ready? So bend. Bring it back. Knee and ankle out to the side. And then you rotate as you come back up. I'll do it again. Watch it, you ready? Reach back. Knee and ankle out. And then come back over. Yeah?
Yeah, you don't rotate your hips when you're sitting at a desk.
Ooh, no, yeah, so that's a good point, right?
It's not like Shakira hips.
So realization, right? He just said that we don't rotate our hips when we're sitting at our desk. That's right. So we can literally go through a whole day here to here, here to here. So what you guys are doing is just speaking to the capsule of the joint, which is what Josh was talking about. If we get that rotation, whoo.
Just reminding the brain that your joint can do this.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going here.
Any questions on that one? That's the funnest one out of all of them so
Imagine
far,
who-
probably.
We need hips. All right.
How many do you do?
In my morning routine, I do 2 in each direction. And literally, as we carve through, it takes me 10 minutes. Right now, we're stretching this out.
Yeah.
So you guys really dive in. But yeah, once you get better at and get rhythm, 10 minutes a morning, all right, go on to whatever you guys do.
Then it's cold shower.
Yeah, cold shower.
Can you drink coffee like that?
Can.
You want to get good at it, young?
Hey, you gotta balance this on your leg.
Yeah. You feel this, huh?
Yeah, no.
And then
Bailey's.
roll your fingers down and spread. For my rotator cuff.
Yeah. Whatever.
Man, that's hard to do.
Yeah, this one.
Because you have to get it up as high as you can, and then he said, get your fingers, your baby fingers, roll it all the way down, and expand your without making
That's tough. That's tough.
Try it.
Yeah.
I mean, opening up the.
Roll your finger all the way out.
Out.
Baby finger stays down and roll it out.
Like that?
Keep rolling it out. And then spread.
All right, she's teaching us shoulder workout now.
That's a Brian.
Oh.
That's what he's got.
I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. Okay.
Opens up the.
So
Oh yeah.
a little less crazy now. We're gonna do the knee. So if we can all,
I know we gotta get on the.
are we able to prop down? Okay. Yep. Okay. So maybe you face that way, and then I'll follow.
You can grab one.
Want to sit this way?
I'll take this one.
Let's see how walk you through talk it.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone put your grab under your leg. Okay. One. Let's do left.
Left leg.
Is the other leg straight or bent?
The other leg, it depends on where you're comfortable.
Yeah,
I'm just
find
keeping
a
it so I'm
comfortable
not blocking you. But if you had it straight,
Lean against the
if it had it, you hang out like this. Now, once you're in that position, you're then going
Lean
to
against the couch.
extend your knee up, twist your foot in, and then back down. Now, the thing to pay attention to when you do a knee car is, see this little bony landmark that Joey's pointing at? We can also palpate that, so touch it to see if we're doing it right. So a way to do that too is to grab onto this forearm, and then you can have your finger there. So it gives you feedback on when you move your foot side to side, does that bone move? That is your knee's internal and external rotation, because it's not just a hinge joint, it's actually rotatory. So once you feel like you feel that, then it's going to be, let's turn in, extend, out, flex. In, extend, out, and then flex. So then we can reverse it. Now it's going to be out, extend, in, flex. Out, extend, in, flex. And if you're feeling that bone move under your finger, then you're doing it correctly. It's sometimes a little bit difficult to get that bony landmark to move when the knee's extended. But practice, practice, practice. Over time, you'll start to get it. But if it's still difficult, then you can sit here and just practice doing this even, where you're just getting the rotatory component of the knee. Everyone feel that?
Who here is not feeling it? It's okay to be honest, because I had no idea what the hell was going on when I did
It's a
it.
tough one to feel, especially.
Yeah? You don't feel it? Like, who here, is anyone else having a hard time rotating that?
So that's where your quads attach.
Yeah, so mine's really, I'm abnormal. See this guy? So you see here? See how I can get that guy rotating all the way in? People don't realize that, yeah, this is a hinge joint, the knee, but it, like Josh said, there's a rotary component to it, right? So when people miss it, that's when people start to feel the compensation, right? So if I look, you can, that's why we had people keep the heel down. Sometimes it can help to feel it, right? So then what he was doing was create that circle. I'm rotating all the way out. I'm going into extension, and then I'm going to turn that in. It's a tough one.
Can you also feel it like in the top of your leg too?
In the hip?
Yeah.
In that case, you have to cradle. What I'll do is I'll protect it so I don't have to work on my hip. Because if you feel the hip working, there you go, right?
So maybe do a little less turning in.
If the hip is working, you can tell you're compensating for what should be happening at the knee.
Okay, and then let's do, if anything for you, let's have here.
Good.
And just practice turning in, out, and then in. Is that bad?
No, that feels good.
I would do that one for you then. And then as you get better at it, I think the force of the kneecap compressing with the quad contraction is probably a little much. But for you, yeah. Because then we're still getting the benefit of the pumping action of the rotation of the knee.
Can I make a suggestion? Okay, can you use your arms?
Yeah, and then you could palpate it too.
Okay, use your arms to shout. Okay, don't use the arm. Okay?
Yeah.
See where my elbow is? Use like that. Okay. Now let it drop.
How we doing? Good?
Not sure which which way my foot.
Here, let's get all three of you. Okay, so let's keep the heel down. Heel down, heel down. Do you guys feel the bony part?
I can feel it.
So this guy right here,
Yeah.
right there,
Here.
and Val right here. Feel that bony thing? You got it, Nicole? Right there. Okay, keep the heel down. Without moving the hip, rotate your ankle out to the side and feel that bone move. Yeah? Okay, rotate it all the way in and feel that bone move. Try not to bring the hip with it. Feel the difference? Yeah. So that's how you go.
I don't feel like it.
Let's see, go. Go really hard there. All the way. You go slow down. Go as far as you can here. There. Small. We gotta work on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Rotate it all the way in. Right there. Rotate all the way out. Out as far as you can. Out. There.
Oh.
Feel it?
Okay.
You got it?
Got it. I really have to like.
You have to create. Some people have to create a little more tension. Right? You guys.
So it's that one bone that I feel shifty.
Yeah, that's just giving you feedback that
That's not-
you're actually moving. It's the tibia component, the lower leg.
Okay.
It's telling you if you're actually moving it, because sometimes the foot will cheat. It'll make you think you're moving that because your ankle's going to windshield wiper, but this isn't moving.
Okay, now I got it.
So as long as you're getting that component of it, we could even separate these two. Like for her, it works better just to do this component, which is still super beneficial
Wow.
because there's too much pain to extend it. And then for you, just even practicing the in one more. Cool.
Let me feel it when you do it. Twist.
We good? We're gonna move on to the ankle. Yeah, this is another Cramp City one. Oh, did you guys? Yeah. Try the other side. Try the other side. What side felt harder for you guys? Is there one dominant side?
I feel like it's very like faint.
Internal? Yeah, you gotta clean that one up. All right. Internal rotation's huge for us. So what you can do instead of like creating so much work here, you can just rest your heel here. That's what I have people. Some people ask me like, "Oh, my arm's tired from doing my knee cars," so I just have them rest their heel and then rotate it. Rotate your.
He's post-surgical.
Yeah. Oh, how
I had orthopedic surgery on this knee
How long
6
ago?
weeks ago.
6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Are you doing physio?
I have been doing
Yeah.
physical therapy.
And this is gonna be even better. You can ask your physio,
Right.
but the rotational component after surgery,
Well, so am I doing it right?
you know, keep it on the ground, so it's easier to control. So if you keep your thigh still, nice and slow, so you see how you're trying to ask of the hip. What I have people do sometimes, I'll literally have them hug. Just hug it so they don't move the thigh. So then from here, you can literally,
Rotate it left.
yeah, just get the rotation. And I have people just explore it because you'll realize how hard it is to find rotation without doing all of this. And then you check a different part of your range. I just have people explore because if you can go through full extension and work your way all the way to here, this is where people miss it, is when the knee starts to bend, they have a hard time capturing this rotation. So again, it's just information because your knee, right? Did you have
Awesome. Now practice in, now extend. So keep it in and then extend your knee, turn it out and then flex it. That's the actual car.
Oh. Okay.
Here and then up. Perfect.
Yeah, and that's why cars becomes even more powerful. Because you try to say dorsiflex.
Yeah, it helps separate it.
After rotation, that's how we mitigate more degeneration of the joint.
Cool.
All right, are we ready for ankle?
Ankle gets fun.
Let's do it.
So it's gonna be the same setup for ankle.
Let me go back here.
So we're gonna do the same setup for ankle. You're gonna palpate that same bone. Now the goal is don't let that bone move, because now it's gonna be ankle. So once you guys have that set up, you're taking your foot off the ground. You're gonna point your toe down as far as you can. You're gonna flare it in, and basically think of the tips of your toes creating the biggest circle you can. Going through that full range of motion. and then back to the point again. And it's just a basic ankle circle. This one's not as complicated as the other ones. And then let's reverse it. Just make sure that when you do the bottom portion of the point, that you sweep your foot out as far as you can and up. And it's all slow and controlled motions. And that's an ankle car. Yeah, it's the simplest one out of all of them.
But what you might find is that your tibia or this bone is wanting to go with it, right? Who here has felt that guy trying to go,
Yeah, I
right?
still feel
That's-
it on my left leg more than my right.
And that's
I
why
mean-
it's important to palpate it.
And it's kind of correlated with the wrist, right? It was hard to do the wrist, right? People find that with the ankle too, like they can't disassociate. But if you can get some more motion in this ankle, then you're going to be able to carve more range of motion out of your joint.
Because our ultimate goal with all this is not only the joint health stuff, but the more you're able to separate joints from each other, the more able you are to force attenuate. It's kind of like crashing a car. The crumple zone absorbs the shock so you don't get hurt. Same things with each one of your joints. The more they can participate with all the components of whatever activity you're doing, walking for example, the more or the less stress that your back takes up or the less stress your neck takes. Because now you have an ankle that can force absorb, you have a knee that force absorbs, a hip that force absorbs. So it's maximize the pieces to the whole.
And you guys all know what a squat is, right? So if you're going through a squat, and let's say you're on your last rep and you start to fail and you start to do this, if you don't have the capacity in these joints to actually get here, then you might be in trouble. But if you've trained more rotation in the joint to have the capacity, then you might reduce or mitigate your risk at actually hurting yourself. So it kind of buffers your system up to where you can make room for error.
Gives you options.
Options, exactly.
Well,
Right.
it's actually better stimulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the knee joint, the meniscus, one of the key reasons athletes destroy the meniscus is because it's like a sponge. There's no circulation.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Diffusion.
You
Yep.
want to keep the blood moving and circulating.
And,
right?
Exactly.
And this is where when we got exposed to the system a few years ago, this is way different than anything that we have seen. And once we started to explore it within our own joints and then started gifting it to our clients as they started seeing us, right now this is all I think that, and within the systems that we've studied, all that we know that actually attacks each individual component of our joints, right? Because a lot of us are dealing with issues and stiffness in our joints but don't know what to do about it, right? Let's put a hot pack and it feels good, that's awesome. Or we'll do some kind of passive stretch, but nothing in there is really providing an active component to shape the brain like Josh said. So if we can help people develop better control, we will take better ownership of our body, then we can do all the fun stuff that we want to do in our training. So this is kind of like an ABCs to spelling, the way we look at it, right?
Yeah.
So,
You got to know the alphabet to write the book.
so any questions on that stuff?
What's the best way to get up?
Oh, well, best way to get up is specific to whoever.
I
whoever's
always say
asking
you
the
got
question.
that chair right behind you, so
No,
probably.
can-
I mean, really, is there is there a safer way to get up and
Depend-
down from where you are?
Everybody.
Depends on the person.
Yeah, they're gonna have different. If they have a knee issue, then probably not this pattern where they stand up like that.
Okay,
yeah.
I've had people walk themselves back up even.
okay.
But if there's something close by, I'd say that's the easiest
Yeah.
option if it is.
It's a tough question because everyone's so different, you know. And
But if there's no knee issue, I would say this lunge pattern one where you
so
push off that way.
Any
'Cause then it
questions
gives you-
on what we cover, guys?
Boost up.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So, two artificial knees.
Dig! That's Brian.
Tell Brian you did a good job.
No, Brian hasn't touched my knees. Oh. Just working on my shoulder.
Okay, right
Your
on.
Bible man.
Right on. All right, so you guys are all probably wondering how the hell am I gonna remember this, right? So first things first, we wanna let you guys know that because Andrew has gifted us to come here and just share a little bit of what we know, and hopefully you guys took something out of it. If you guys are interested in scheduling an initial evaluation with us, we'll give 20% off the top. And you'll talk to Taylor if you guys wanna schedule that in. If not, if you guys give Taylor your name and email, we'll send you guys the YouTube links of all the different cars videos so you can start practicing tomorrow. And then lastly, if you guys are on Instagram or Facebook, if you guys do a post and tell us what you took out of it, we would be so grateful for that because it's gonna help us clean up our workshop and just share more value to people. And if you guys do that, just tag us using our IG tag and then Move Better, Live Happier, which is something that we're really trying to push forward because I think at the end of the day, a lot of us will have pain, mobility restrictions, but it's not until those pain and mobility restrictions limit us from doing what we love. And that's when people actually reach out for help. So what we're trying to do is really get people connected to what we're trying to share. So if you do that, we'll send you, when the guy right here, Mike, the Magic Mike, I like to call him. So once Mike finishes the video, we'll send it out to whoever does the posts and tag us on social media.
Facebook page right there, Move Better, Move Happy.
Progressive Motion.
Progressive Motion?
Yeah, Progressive Motion.
PT or Progressive
PT.
Motion?
Yeah,
PT.
Progressive Motion PT. If you guys tag us, we'll get Mike to send it out.
That's on Facebook too?
Yeah. Yep. And so, yeah, anything else, Josh?
Yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, man.
Yeah, that's right there, our name right there. But,
Can I just add something?
please.
I just want to thank everyone for coming today and participating. The reason why we have these guys here is because I personally go to their clinic and I've had amazing results, specifically with my neck where I had surgery as a young kid, and the mobility and what's happened physically to my body, my posture, and all the stuff that they've done has been incredible. It's been almost life-changing for me. So when I come across anybody that has that sort of skill and knowledge of the human body, I get very excited and I love to share that with everybody that I know. And so I just want to say thank you to you guys here for coming and for sharing the information. And thank you for the work you've done for me and for Norman as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.